The latest in the Predator franchise may be the best one yet, or at least in a long, long while. Let's talk about Hulu's Prey. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new streaming movie Prey. This is available on Hulu, and surprising that it didn't go to theaters, but when you realize it's under that 20th Century Fox banner, like all of the Fox movies that are not, Avatar or something like that, they are being shelved to Hulu as per sort of, what Disney is doing with them. I've talked about this before. I was surprised, certainly, that this one went to streaming, especially when there's nothing out right now in theaters. Might have been nice to have a nice mid-budget action movie in there, but anyway, before we get into the specifics of this film, I do want to welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thanks for finding my video and my channel. Please consider subscribing down below there or comment below. Like this video. All of that does help out the channel, so I would appreciate it. All right, let's get to this movie. My interaction with the Predator franchise is pretty slim. I didn't grow up on action movies. We weren't really allowed to watch them. In fact, I'm looking now at my Top Gun shirt. I didn't even see the original Top Gun until like 5 years ago. So we didn't grow up on that kind of stuff. It was mostly just, animated movies, comedies, that sort of stuff. Action movies like with Schwarzenegger or Stallone, we just didn't do in my house. So my history with Predator is the 2018 movie, which I forgot I even saw. I had to go back and look because I was like, well, I watched pretty much all the big movies, at that time, so I must have seen it, and I did. I gave it a C minus rather, so obviously not too engaged there. And then I saw the Alien versus Predator Requiem movie, which I did not want to see, but I was on a date, and that was their choice to see. I tried to protest, but I wasn't grading movies at the time, but I think I would have failed it. It was a horrible, horrible movie. So that's like about my interaction with this franchise. So when I saw this one coming out, I didn't know really what to think of it because it reminded me sort of like of another Schwarzenegger franchise that they just keep making movies of, which is the Terminator. The first two, I should say, not even few. The first two were great, and then, by far diminishing results from that. But then this movie started getting really, really good reviews. So I thought, okay, well, this could be interesting. So the basic premise of the movie is this is a prequel to all four of the official movies in the franchise. They count Alien versus Predator as sort of like an offshoot. But the four original Predator movies, this is a prequel to that. It takes place in 1719 in the northern Great Plains. And it stars this girl, Amber Midthunter, who I don't know, but she's been in like a lot of the CW type shows. I believe she's a regular on one of the Roswell shows. But I'm not familiar with her. But she features as Nehru, who is a Comanche warrior striving to prove that she's got what it takes to be a hunter. And as a result, she finds herself being a protector to not only her people from this predator, but also from French fur traders who want to basically destroy the buffalo that her people are relying on for survival. You've also got here as her brother, Dakota Beavers, who I'm also not familiar with. And then this was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who has a pretty good track record with me at the box office. 10 Cloverfield Lane, I thought was just fantastic. He did that one, and then he did the premiere episode he directed of The Boys, which is great too. So, he's definitely got his hands in some cool things here, some great projects and some great franchises. What he did here is made this a more human story than I certainly have seen before from the franchise. And I would think, judging by my knowledge of the Schwarzenegger movies that I have seen from the 80s, I have to imagine it was not as character-based or as, well-written as this movie is. I'm not saying that these are, the templates for great character writing or anything, but we do get a good, strong sense of these characters, this family, this community, against, the odds here. And it may lean a little bit too hard into the whole, like, girl can't hunt kind of trope. and having to prove herself over and over again. It might lean a little heavily into that, but I accept that for what it is. I mean, this is a female-driven story in what is typically a male-driven franchise. So, okay, I can get behind that. But my biggest problem really with the movie is the CGI animals. The Predator looks fine. In fact, because it's a prequel to all of those, the weapons that Predator uses are a little more rudimentary than the weapons, in the current day Predator movies, or what, I don't know when they really take place, the other ones, but certainly after this. So I thought that was kind of cool that they sort of pared down, what he can do. But there's a lot of animals in this movie, and for me, the CGI of those animals took me out every single time. And this is not a small budget movie. Like I said up top, it was, sort of a mid-tier budget movie. 65 million is the estimate from Wikipedia. And so, okay, that's a pretty decent budget, but look, I think it's safe to say at this point, you need really 100 million to do a lot of, if you're going to have CGI throughout your movie. I think you need more than 100 mil these days, which is, sick to even think about. But that's the case because the animals in this movie looked bad. They really did. And we don't see them as we get more into the story. They really are more visible in the first probably half hour, 40 minutes. But as we get more into the Predator's arc, then okay, now we see sort of less animals and more just, human on predator contact. And there's some cool action sequences for sure. And they definitely, I would say, most come towards, the latter half of the film. But in the beginning and sort of in the middle, there's a lot of animals, and every time it just took me out. They look so bad. Not so bad, but just so unrealistic. So I get it. You can't really do real animals these days. I understand that. But if you're a studio like a Fox, which I imagine this movie was probably mostly made before Disney bought Fox, so I'm going to say Fox probably footed the bill for most of this movie. I think you could spend the extra 20 or $25 million to make those characters pop a little bit more, make them a little more realistic. But that's probably my main complaint, other than, the fact that, okay, maybe we do lean a little too hard into the theme and the trope of the woman, trying to make sure everyone knows she can fight, constantly being put down by people. Oh, you're no hunter, you're a girl. All right, we got it. But other than that, I found this to be quite enjoyable. Certainly the best Predator movie I've ever seen. I would have to go back, I guess, and watch the Schwarzenegger version to see how that compares. But I actually liked this quite a bit. I'm going to leave Prey with a B. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Dan Reviews It. Bye.